What's up, guys? Rogue Scribes coming at you here with a long overdue deck profile of Gladiator Beast. So I've actually been playing this deck for a little while, playtesting a lot, trying to find the most consistent build I could, because I like this deck a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. I ended up doing relatively well at my locals, especially with the food drive campaign, where I got second, top three, got a mat because it was the donation thing, so I got this nice mat. Nevertheless, after like playtesting and changing it up a couple times, doing pretty well locals, I figured I'd finally give you guys the profile and also some insider tips as far as my card choices and tech choices and why I didn't play certain cards over others. As there's a reason generally for pretty much every card I didn't play versus every card I did play. So this one might be a little bit more extensive from, other profiles, but I'll try my best to go through it as fast as possible so you guys aren't watching forever. Nevertheless, let's get started. So, for starters, almost every Gladiator Beast deck is going to be playing 3 rabbits and 3 Andals. So this is standard. This is actually the best Gladiator Beast now, which is silly because it's not even hollow, which is funny. Who would have thought that this card would have been the best Gladiator Beast you could possibly play in 2020? Nevertheless, Rabbit obviously just grabs 2 copies from deck, and it's your favorite extender, and it's just such an amazing card. It starts off a bunch of combos. I'll show you the best 2-card combo I have with this deck, Rabbit and the Tenyi, and I'll get into that and a little bit later. But yeah, so these 6 are standard. You don't want to change these at all. The Rabbit's almost always live too, simply because of the fact you can always tag back the Andals. 2 Augustus. So this is your brick of the deck, but you have to play 2 of it because you need to be able to make the Hammer Editor from the extra deck because it requires 2 level 5s. So you have to play 2. It sucks when you draw it, but it's not always a brick because you can sometimes play around it with some other things and using a Torx in another way. But nevertheless, 2. And then the last Gladiator Beast cards I play is 1 Torx, 1 Darius, and 1 Bestiari. Okay, so you'll notice I don't play a quest. A quest is too slow. You never want to draw it. It's never like a playable card in your hand. It's not worth the benefit. Generally, when you use a quest to grab back the monster reborn, you're already in a winning position, is my personal opinion from playing the deck and testing it a lot. So that's why I ended up cutting it. I felt like I just bricked on it more than it actually helped me. A Torix, this is a one of that's necessary. You have to play this card, no questions asked, just because it dumps the Augustus or a card from your extra deck if you're in a desperate scenario in order to get that level 5. Some people forget about that it can send from the extra deck too. So it's a necessary one of, and it's searchable off of Proving Ground, so it's really, really nice. It's also which you'll search off Testament there a lot. Darius, the only reason we actually play this card too as well is because of the fact that it allows us to recycle our resources, and if you open a really, really lackluster hand where you're only able to make Test Panther, it allows you generally to be able to make a Abyss Dweller as well on top of it if you didn't have the other extender for the level 5. Finally, Bestiari. This card has actually declined in over the years as far as how good it is. You're almost never going to actually use it to make the Geysaris. I even debated cutting it for a little while because honestly, this card and Darius are always bricks in your hand. You never want to draw these cards. You only ever want to search them out. So it's almost like bad to have them in the deck at all. If you could always combo and always be perfect and not have to worry about having that extra extender with Test Panther, I wouldn't even play Darius myself. It does have its sometimes utility where you can search off the Proving Ground when you go second, unexpected die, and this makes the Geysaris and gives you some more advantage, but otherwise, this card really isn't like what it used to be. Alrighty, and that's it for the Gladiator Beast. Moving on into the next monsters, I play 3 Tenyi Adhara. Okay, so this card's nuts, and it actually surprises me not to see it in as many Gladiator Beasts list as possible, because of the fact that it allows you to make the Ib, and Ib is just such an amazing extender. This card in Rabbit is 6 negates, and I'll show you guys how to do that. It's just absolutely insane. It's a free card, and it's better than Test Tiger. I don't play Test Tiger because of the fact that Test Tiger doesn't actually... The tag ability gives you no other extra resource of what you were doing, whereas the tuner in this is so much better. You will be able to make your Ib, you will be able to get an extra copy of Monster Reborn. It just adds to your plays so much more than a Test Tiger would. Test Tiger just doesn't do what you need it to do, whereas this card does. That leads me into my second tuner, which is I play a Glow Bulb, because I do play 1 for 1 and Foolish, which also help make the Ib. So, amazing card. And the last one, level 1 we play, is the World Legacy Guard Dragon. This is how you get your free extender with 6 negates. I mean, it's freaking amazing in this deck. You can also use it as a hand trap, which I'll get into later on. But sometimes if I open like Unexpected Die, Rabbit, and this, I'll play Unexpected Die, make a Link Spider, and then summon the Rabbit underneath the Link Spider so they can't Impermanence or Veiler the Rabbit, because you can send Chain negate that card with this. So yeah, pretty neat. Then for the hand traps, I play 2 Nibiru and 3 Ash Blossoms. So I debated about what hand traps are generally the best. Nibiru is actually really decent right now. I was initially I'd only play 1, but I don't own a 3rd Imperm. So yeah, if you have the 3rd Imperm, I would play a 3rd Imperm instead of 2 Nibiru and just play 1 Nibiru, because it really is like a card that's not great against like Striker and some other decks, but against most decks like Salamander and Orcus and stuff like that, it's really nice to have. And Ash is just a staple; you always want to see it. So. For the choices. On to the spells, which make up like, at least another 50% of the deck. You have 3 Unexpected Die. This card is just so free. You want this in your hand all the time. Yeah, it's just amazing. Nothing else to say about that. Grabs your hand all and everything. You play 3, come back. It's your Monster Reborn. That's not once per turn. The only thing you have to be careful of is making sure you don't have the same type on board as the card you're about to bring back. No other explanation there. Searchable off your test. Then I play 3 Proving Ground. This card is also insane. It's not once per turn. It's a Rhoda. It's funny to think about how if you went back to when Gladiator Beasts were actually good, and you told people you were searching the card that's on the cover of this card, they would laugh at you. Why would you search the vanilla? But honestly, it is the card you search the most, because 2 vanillas is still combo with Link Spider. So yeah, it's just really good. Yeah, I like the versatility of it too. It does allow you to get to the bestiary. It also allows you to get the Torx if you're missing that last combo piece to make your 2 level 5s and get your negates out. So yeah, 3D. That leads me into the next card, 3 copies of Called by the Grave. You're playing a combo deck. You don't really need much explanation there. That is it for the 3 ofs. If you notice, I don't actually play Rejection. And there's a reason for that as well, and it's because of the fact that I'd rather have the Proving Ground over the Rejection most of the time, searching that monster you're going to have, because you're going to use your Test Panther more effectively. Also, Rejection's not searchable off of Test Panther, and generally, in order for Rejection to be good, your hand already has to be really decent, because of the fact that Rejection only works if you're able to summon from deck. So if I already have Unexpected Die, or I already have Rabbit, it's like Rejection's just that icing on the cake. It doesn't improve the hands that are already dead. Whereas like 2 Andals is already really good enough. You'd rather have like the Proving Ground in that scenario if you had Proving Ground Andal instead of Andal Rejection, because the Rejection's not going to add anything to the hand. Rejection's only good when your hand is already good, or excuse me, when your hand is already like nuts. So like it's just not worth it in my opinion, even though it's a decent card. Next up for the 1-ofs, I play 1/5 Formation Tenki. I don't like multiples of this. It's just your 4th copy of Proving Ground. It's insane. It adds Torx or your Andal. Specifically, it doesn't add Bestiary or Darius, or adds Darius, but the only card it doesn't add is Bestiary and the Augustus. So it's insane as a 1-off. Then I play 1-for-1. This gets to our Glow Bulb, and the same thing with Foolish. It's so good to have the Synchro into Ib combo, and I'll explain later why, and I'll try and do the combo into it because it's just nuts. But yeah, that's essentially what it is for. You can also use it to foolish other things, like you can foolish the World Legacy card to bring back an Andal instead of the Glow Bulb, or you can foolish Burial Bestiary if you have a comeback and you have to make something like that. But yeah, it's a good card. Next up, Monster Reborn and World Legacy Succession. Just more copies of Monster Reborn alongside your 3 already copies of the Gladiator Beast comeback. So yeah, and then last but not least, 2 Impermanents, as I already mentioned. For the hand traps, I play 2 Nibiru. I would play 1 Nibiru and then play 3 Imperm, because Imperm's just the better card. And that rounds it up for the deck. On to the extra deck. So this extra deck is a lot slimmer than most people would expect. For Gladiator Beast, we play 1 Editor, 1 Gazaris, 1 Heraclinos, and 1 Dom Ateus. So this is all you need. You're never going to actually be making multiples of these guys. Once you have gotten them out, like they're recyclable off your Monster Reborn, you don't need multiple copies of each of these cards. Most of them tag back, except for Heraclinos is the only one that doesn't tag back. And even then, like, you only summon this after you already have like a broken combo anyway, so you're probably going to be winning the game regardless. You don't need to play more of these guys. For your Exceeds, I play the 1 Dweller and the 1 Hope Harbinger. You can technically debate if you want to play the Hope Harbinger. You can play something else. Most of the time, you can always end on the Heracleus with one card in hand. The good thing about Hope Harbinger is if you do the combo and you don't have any other cards in hand, or if you have like an Ash as your last card, instead of having to discard that card for the Heracleus for the spell negate most of the time, you can make the Hope Harbinger, and then that way you have a spell negate and the Ash in hand. So it's like that extra icing on the cake as well. Next up, for the synchros, I play one Ib and one Gladiator Beast. So this card is insane. I'm going to show you the combo with it. This card is just too good not to play, especially with the 10U. It just adds so much to your deck, so much power. Lets you chain block your Test Panther, etc. It's freaking phenomenal. Gladiator Beast is also really, really good. And the reason for this is because I can't tell you how many times I would open the 10U and the Rabbit. And what would happen is I'd special summon my 10E, I'd normal summon my Rabbit, and they would imper my Rabbit. Well, if I didn't have an extender to keep going to Gladiator Beast plays, I'm not going to make Ib because there's no other further Gladiator. I don't have that second Gladiator Beast I normally would have off the Rabbit. What you do is you then just synchro into Gladiator Beast. Now that they've used an imperm, I mean, the likelihood they're going to have a second imperm is lower, but not necessarily impossible. Nevertheless, it's still a really, really good play as your turn one if you do get stopped in your hand traps along the way. And you can actually also end on this with another combo as well. Next up for the links, we played two Test Panther, self-explanatory, card's insane. Next up, I play one Almirage. Okay, so this is not a card that everybody else plays in Gladiator Beast. I play this card for a very good reason, and it has to do with the Rabbit actually getting impermed and veilered most of the time. So since Rabbit is a hard once per turn, as long as you don't activate it, you can still activate it. If you bring it back again, it leaves the field. The good thing to do with this is if you do open the Monster Reborn or the World Legacy Succession, then what you can do is you can synchro off your Rabbit or link off your Rabbit with the Almirage and then use the World Legacy Succession or your Monster Reborn to bring it back and use that Rabbit. This is also really, really helpful with Autorix, and the reason is because sometimes you won't open enough Gladiator Beast. So it's actually really nice to have an Autorix and if a comeback. If these are the only two cards you have, you don't normally have a combo. But with your Almirage, you actually do, because you can normal summon your Autorix, link it away, play your comeback, bring back that Autorix, and then link two. It really helps when you only have those two cards, because there are times where you're not going to open the other Gladiator Beast, and it just adds that extra little bit of consistency. It sounds small and minute, yes, but it actually is helpful sometimes. So I do play the one Almirage. I play, next up, one Link Karibo. This has to do with the combo Ib. I'll show you guys that. It has to do with getting that World Legacy Succession Guard Dragon back into the grave so you can use it. Link Spider, this card's insane. Allows your 2 Andal combo to go off. Next up, I play one Decode. Some people prefer the Unicorn. You can play Nightmare Unicorn if you want instead. I like the Decode Tarker because it still adds that protection because I don't play the Rejection. So I feel like this substitutes nicely instead. And then last but not least, I play Appaloosa because this card's insane. Just allows you so many negates. It is card a necessity for this deck. And yeah, that's it for the main deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over our standard 2-card combo because this is nuts. So what you'll do is you'll also have 3 cards I'm not going to use in the combo. Perfect. You'll have 3 other cards in hand with these 2 cards. But this is the best combo of the deck. In my opinion, there is extensions and you can change it up. There's even ways you can end on that beast, but what I'm going to do is your basic thing. So you're going to special summon your Tenyi, you're going to normal summon your Rabbit, you're going to activate your Rabbit's going to grab you 2 copies of Vandal. What you're going to do from there is you're going to synchro 5, and you're going to summon your Ib, and your Andal is there. Then what you're going to do is off your Ib, you activate the effect. To add Succession, Ib is in your extra monster zone. With that new master roll, this will change, but nevertheless, for now. You link off these 2, the Ib and the Andal, to summon your Test Panther. Test Panther is going to be Chain Link 1, Ib will be Chain Link 2. Test Panther, what it's going to do is going to search you your Autorix, and your Ib is going to go ahead and summon your copy of World Legacy Guard Dragon to the field. So now what you're going to do is you're going to have your World Legacy Succession in hand with your Autorix and 3 other cards, mind you. Then you can link off your World Legacy Guard Dragon to the graveyard to summon your Link Karibo. You then can activate your World Legacy Guard Dragon to bring back that Andal you had that you just linked away. Then you're going to use your Test Panther's effect to tag away that Andal back into the deck to summon your Augustus. Augustus' effect is going to special summon your Autorix from hand. Autorix's effect will activate to send that second Augustus in your deck to the graveyard. You then tag these 2 back into the deck to summon your Editor. Yes, this is getting extensive. So now you still have your 4 cards in hand with 1 succession. You will then link your Test Panther and your Link Karibo away. And this is where I summon my Decode Talker. Decode Talker in the forward zone. You activate the effect of your Editor, because you haven't done do that yet. summon your Damateus over in the far right. You then link away the Decode Talker and the Editor for your Appaloosa. This only gives Appaloosa 2 negates, I'm aware, but that's perfectly fine because you're going to have plenty. You then activate your World Legacy Succession. You bring back your Editor. Editor's effect is going to use and summon your Heraklinos. All said and done, that gives you 2 negates on Appaloosa, 1 on your Damateus, and you have 3 cards in hand for your Heraklinos. So I think that's probably one of the best combos in the deck because it gives you 3 spell and trap negates, 3 monster negates. It's a nice balance, and you still have your Editor for the next turn to summon Gyzaris and punch for game. So if you do that turn 1, you're pretty much going to be in the clear, winning the game. Nevertheless, that's why I play the Tenyi and the Rabbit. There are further extensions into this combo, such as even being able to add a Naturia Beast on here if one of these cards is a comeback instead. That way you don't have to search like in a comeback in a Torix. Then you'll end on with 1 card, and then you'll use your Succession to bring back the Tenyi Tuner instead, and an Andal with the comeback, and then you can Synchro 5 and make Naturia Beast in the middle right here. So that way you have 1 card to stop trap negates, your opponent can't play spells, and you have 3 monster negates. Insane stuff like that. It's a lot of playing around. I put a lot of thought into this deck as to what cards I do play and what cards I don't. I know this was a long profile. I'm sorry about the video camera being a little wobbly. I was doing it recording with the one thing. I didn't have my stand to do so it is going to be a little bit shaky. Nevertheless, I hope it's good quality. I hope you guys enjoy. Sorry for the delay in the profiles as far as being busy and etc. other things. Nevertheless, I hope you guys enjoy. Rogue Scrubs out.